today. Thank you for coming to this professional development workshop on document cameras. Alright, I've been using a document camera for the past couple weeks in the Reading Center with one of my students, and I'll kind of get to show you how I've used it, but also other ways we can use it in the classroom, especially with reading and writing. So, if you walk yourselves down to floor 2 and visit the people in the TRC, you will ask them for a document camera and get a package that looks like this. And inside it has everything that you need. Alright? And it's lovely BG colors too. I don't know if they're all that way, but it happened to work out, at least for me. So, in here, you have your document camera. Come in different colors. I was blessed with the pink one. Alright? And 2 other cords in here. I'm just going to set this bag down there for the time being. So one of them is the power cord, and the other one is the cord that is actually going to hook us up to our display. Today we're using the smart board. Alright? I handed out some materials to everybody. Let's double check if we got everything. We got ourselves a whiteboard, personal whiteboard, blank sheet of paper, an index card, and the clip is just there because it's holding the nice lovely marker. And you all have something to write with on the piece of paper, pencil, pen?
Yes.
Perfect. Alright, so the objectives for today, first just to show you how do you hook up the document camera and get it working so that you can actually use it. And then also I'm going to provide you with ways that you can use the document camera with either reading activities or writing activities. And then we'll get to talk about pros and cons and also see how you might be able to adapt some of the activities you're using currently or have used, and see if you can maybe incorporate the use of a document camera. So that's what we hope to tackle today, and let's get started. You see that index card if you want to unhook that from there. And with your lovely pens and pencils, let's start off and think of 3 writing activities or reading activities that you've done with students, whether one-on-one here in the Reading Center, or it might even be helpful for our purposes, because document cameras are really well used with large groups of students. So if you can think of back in student teaching or when you've been in a classroom setting, any writing activities that you've done with a group of students. So just name 3, you don't have to be detailed, just something to let you know this is the activity that I like, that I've done. Something involving reading or something involving writing. Right. So before we put those away, we're going to be tucking them away until the very end. We'll be revisiting it. But do people want to share at least maybe one thing that they've put on their little index card? Phil?
We read a book, or like we would read multiple books using a document camera as a whole class. So they would sit in the carpet.
You're already talking about
like
document camera stuff.
Oh. Where is it supposed to be?
No.
Oh, okay.
You're good.
Oh.
Alright, so. Alright. Well, yes.
We would read a story and then do like a lot of sequencing activities. So we would read a book and then do some type of sequencing, either like using a worksheet or like they would cut and paste
Okay.
and sequence.
So reading together, sequencing, like read alouds?
Yes.
Reading? Okay. And what grade was that? Real quick.
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten? Alright, Chelsea.
We would read poems and then like do different ways, like read the poem like all together, like the echo, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, like different type of
Very cool. And what grade was that?
First grade.
First grade? And I didn't ask, what was
First grade.
first grade? First grade, kindergarten, kindergarten.
We did like phonics, like writing papers, like
Okay.
like together as a whole class.
So doing writing together?
Yes.
Okay. Right, and that was what grade?
Second
Second grade. Alright, changing it up. I like it. Alright, so if you would, just tuck those somewhere. We'll be revisiting that towards the end. So, our lovely document camera. What this document camera does is it basically opens up like this. I know, lovely little extender arm. It's also called an Elmo. That makes it fun. Alright, so if you ask for an Elmo or a document camera downstairs, they'll know what you're talking about. Hover cam is what I called it initially, but all the same thing. And what it does, as you can see right here, it's got a little camera on, and it rotates, and you can bend it in any direction. And you basically hover it over anything on the table or in front of you, or even out, and it will display it to wherever you hook it up to. Again, like I said, we're going to be using the smart board for our display. Alright, and it's very simple to hook up. The first thing we want to do is take our power cord. Okay? And in the meantime, we got to get our smart board turned on, so there's our lovely sound. Alright, so we'll get this plugged into the wall. Right over here, a little way. Don't really need to see that portion, but See this little tiny little end here? Well, there's a spot on the document camera where that goes into. Plug in. And you'll see, once you plug it in, your power button will be lit up. Now, in order to actually turn on the document camera, you need to press the button and it will go blue, and that tells you that it's on. And there's even helpful notes on here that tell you blue means that it's on and it's working. Alright? And the only other way to hook it up, we have the power going, we got an HDMI cable. Very long, so you have some distance with it. Alright? So, our first plug-in, right here with this little end, is what goes into the document camera. Right there. There's a little port for it. And this end, I don't know if you can all see, if you need to get up and see it. Every smartboard, at least here in the reading center, has one of these down below it. It's the exact end for that. Can you see it over there? So all you do is plug it right into there. And you'll see right now there's different inputs on the smartboard. So right now we're hooked up to the computer, the monitor. But we need to, since we hooked up with HDMI, switch over to HDMI. So that's where it will tell you right down there. S-Video, HDMI. And give it a second to hook up, and we'll make sure volume's down, otherwise we'll, oh, we're good. Because there is a microphone in here, and we learned the hard way the other day that there's a microphone attached to this, and there's some feedback on there. It wasn't fun. So, as you can see, we'll step around this way. Use the display, and say hi, everybody. There's you!
Oh, gross.
So that's where we'll get to use this, and you can move the arm. And now that we've demonstrated how to hook up, let's begin, and we'll do some reading and writing related activities. Sound good? All right, perfect. One of the ways that you can use a document camera, at least with reading, is to use it as a display to make any book that you have in the classroom a big book. We've all used big books, but we probably encountered, we have a really great book that we love so much and we want to read with our students, but they don't have it available in a big book, or can't get a hold of one if there is one. Alright, so in this case, I have Dr. Seuss's What Pet Should I Get? It's one of the new ones that they found some of his writing and they turned it into the book. So it's a relatively new release of his. So I thought it would be high interest for us, and it's a new one that we're not all familiar with. So what we're going to do is do some read aloud with this book. I'll start off reading it for you using the document camera, and then a few of you will get to come up and try it, and we'll finish the book together. So what you need to do is you can adjust the arm any way you need to, and we're going to have it kind of really long so we can make sure we're getting this book all on there, so we're not missing anything. So we might not be able to have the whole book filmed, but we'll be able to move it around and have the words big. Can you all see that? Is that not too dark? We're good? Alright, just making sure you can see it without the lights off. So, what pet should I get? And there's even a little button on here. It'll say AF for autofocus. Make sure it's nice and clear for us. Alright? So, what pet should I get? At this lovely pet store here. We want a pet. We want a pet. What kind of pet should we get? Dad said we could have one. Dad said he would pay. I went to the pet shop. I went there with Kay. Yeah. Come to that little pet shop. Who's peeking right there? What do we think that is?
Doggy.
Doggy? We got our little cat over here. And so we went in. I took one fast look. I saw a fine dog. We shook hands. So we shook. So I said, I want him. See him shaking the hands there? Uh-oh, what's Kay up to? But then Kay saw a cat. She gave it a pat, and she said, I want that. Very long tail on that cat. You got him shaking the hands. Oh, who's up there? Little puppy, and what is that, a little kitten? Then what do you know? We saw two other kinds. Now, how could Kay and I make up our minds? Still petting the cat over there. A pup and a kitten. They looked like good fun. Now which would we pick? We could only pick one. Make up your mind. The cat or the dog? The kitten? The pup? Oh boy, it is something to make a mind up. Would somebody like to take the reins and try using the document camera with doing a read along?
Sure.
Go for it, Phil. Yeah, you can sit up. Oh, I'll sit here. Alright. Give it a try.
So we have the little boy here. What do you think he's thinking about?
I don't know.
What do you think he's got on his head?
Ooh, that's a Dr. Seussy animal.
Ooh.
Bet you it's a.
The time may be now to make up my mind, but who knows what other good pets I might find. I might find a new one, a fast kind of thing, who would want to fly around my head in a ring on a string. Yes, that would be fun, but our house is so small, this thing on a string would bump, bump, bump into the wall. My mother, I know, would not like that at all.
No, she wouldn't.
Mom.
Oh, Mom, preventing us from getting pets.
Uh-oh.
Wow, it's tall.
Whoa. He's really tall,
It's
isn't
a
he?
giraffe.
Mm-hmm. With some weird legs on. Wonder what it's called.
So maybe some other good kind of pet, another kind maybe, is what we should get. We might find a new kind, a pet who is tall, a tall pet who fits in a space that is small. My mother might like this pet best of them all.
Oh, he could fit into a small space, I guess.
Oh.
How does he look there?
Very
Uncomfortable.
proud.
Oh, the boy?
Yeah, he looks
Boy
pleased.
looks very
Proud that he
He looks pleased.
pleased that he thought of a good idea. Yeah.
Does anybody else want to try?
Yeah, would somebody else like to arrange your duty? You did a very good job. Somebody else want to take over? Go Chelsea.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, so they left the pet store. I will do it right now. I will do it, I said. I will make up the mind that is up in my head. The dog or the rabbit, the fish or the cat. I picked one out fast, and then that was that. This picture is not very helpful with what they got.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Any
I
guesses?
see some eyeballs.
Any guesses, guys?
I say the thing on the desk that I read. What was that? Wasn't the
The
Yent?
Yent?
No, it
Oh,
was
the tall thing?
that's-
Well, I don't know if it had a name or not. Oh, look at you guys!
It's
Disappointment!
Over!
What pet did he get?
I don't know.
Oh.
Seriously, doesn't tell us.
No. It's a good book for having them. Have you ever had to make a hard decision, or they can guess based on clues what pet they got?
I feel cheated.
That is, oh my gosh.
Mind blown.
So what pet do you think they got?
The dog.
Not the fish.
He needs
or-
water.
It was in a bag.
I'm
You
gonna
see?
guess the puppy, because
The
no one
puppy?
can say no to a puppy.
I
You see?
can't.
Discussion, guys.
I want a puppy.
Exactly what we
Right
did.
It's great.
I know. You built you up for disappointment, didn't we?
Get on
There you go. There you go, sir. Alright, so that's an example of how we can use the document camera to take a book, not just any old book, and make it a big book that everyone can see very easily. Alright, now we're going to do a reading activity for an older students. Alright, got the BG News from yesterday, and I picked up this article because it's going to have a couple examples of what we need to be looking at. So with this, we're going to do an activity. Yeah, we're going to be doing an activity about finding paraphrasing and direct quotes. So I'm going to be teaching you stuff on top of this. All right, it won't be too bad. All right. So the article we're dealing with today is Comedy Show Supports Assault Victims. Debbie Downer. All right. So first, we're going to kind of do a similar thing. We're going to display it up there for us. That way we can read it all together. I'm going to adjust our camera. And again, you see how I zoomed in and we can't see it? We'll just hit that AF button, autofocus.
Oh.
Perfect.
The latte.
All right. So would somebody like to start off reading this aloud for us, and then we can
Sure.
go for it, Rebecca? All right. So with this, we're going to deal with direct quotes and paraphrasing. Does anybody know what the difference is?
Direct quote is, I'm guessing, what has like the quotation marks on it?
Exactly. What has a quotation mark? It's taking their words and you're putting them in quotes. All right. What's paraphrasing then?
We're taking their words and we're
Yeah, we're taking their words and
thinking about like what they're saying, but it's not in quotes. Like it's what was expressed, kind of like so we don't. When you're writing, you can change it.
yeah. So
You
you're
don't
changing their
plagiarize.
words up, making it a little clearer. Perfect. Chelsea's already finding examples. So let's start off with the easy one. How are we going to be easily identifying direct quotes? So quotation marks. So anywhere we see that, we're going to do direct quotes, original words in orange. See how I did that right there? So point to an example where you see, Chelsea, some direct quotes.
Oh. I know we often get asked why comedy and sexual assault,
Alright.
etc.
So all of this right here. We go until end quote, and then there's even some more there. Alright, let's find a couple other examples of that. Any other?
I thought it was really funny on this. Others, yes.
It was really funny. Perfect. I'm always really impressed. Alright, one more example.
I think that it's awesome that we're a group of basically some right there.
And you're seeing right there at the very bottom? Is that the one you were looking at?
Yeah, I was reading it from the middle, but.
That's right. They took it right there.
Oh.
I forgot that was the one that they moved over. Perfect. We just highlighted it in 2 places. All right. So very easy to identify direct quotes. What about paraphrasing?
I may be wrong,
Go for it.
but it says at the bottom of the second column, Callie Ingrid said a friend who had been involved with the group encouraged her to join.
Yeah. So notice it still says that somebody is saying it, but they're not putting quotes around it. So sophomore Callie Ingrid said a friend who had been involved in the group encouraged her to join, and she's happy she did because it's been a great experience. All right. Anybody can find other examples? So you'll still look for that trigger word "said" because somebody is saying it. Just you won't.
What about Heather Paramore in the second column said by the cocoon shelters expressed gratitude towards Lady Parts, their support.
Right here. So it says Wise program advocate and expressed gratitude towards Lady Parts for their
She's
support
expressing
and
what
said that
she's-
comedy is often helpful for the healing process. Perfect. All right.
Um,
Unless anybody's got another one, go for it. You got?
I was reading up when it says senior Kelly McManaman, who came to support a friend Paige, who directed and performed, agreed and said she really enjoyed the event. So that's like that last.
So we
little-
have she agreed and said really enjoyed the event. Perfect. All right, you guys, not too bad. You see, you know stuff. All right. So what you would do after this, I won't really make you do it unless you'd like to. But with students, what you can do is highlight it in this way, and then have them compare the direct quotes and see what do those have in common. Why do people use it? When do you use direct quotes? And when do people use paraphrasing? That kind of thing. So just an example of, hey, we just have one newspaper we're working with, and we can do some highlighting. I was trying to do a take on note taking, so it's something else you can really do with the document cameras. Take notes, or as students are reading, highlight stuff for them, because if you're just trying to throw out words, they might not get it, but if you can highlight it for them, that's helpful. So a little note taking that you can do with the document camera. Now that we're done with reading activities, we're going to go back to the younger group of students and work on some writing related to word families. I'm sure we've all used these, yes? All right, so we've got the word families ache and oak, somewhat similar, but you'll notice that we can't make some of the same words with the same front letters. So we're going to be doing some word families with us. I'll start off again, kind of like we did. Wait, there's stuff adjusted here. Already in and out. Alright. You all see that?
Yep.
That shot pretty well. Or one thing you can do is change the brightness of it, so if it's too dark, does that make it easier to see?
Yeah.
So what that button is right here. You'll see the
Okay.
arrows right there. Light up and dim it if you need to. So lighting up makes it better like that. Bam. All right. So what we're gonna do, I'll start off and make a couple words, and here's where you need your handy dandy whiteboard and marker. Alright. So as I make a word, you'll write it in the space, and if you want to, if it's helpful, to divide it down the middle, like you would have students do probably. Alright, so with ache, well, there's the M here, so we can make the word make. Alright? Everybody got that? Alright, and let's do a T to make the word take. Somebody want to come up and think that they can make some words? Come over here. Alright. So just like you would have students come up and they can go up there, play around with it.
Favorite word ever.
Those are alright.
Can you guess what I'm gonna do? No.
Cake! Oh, that's a good one. Can I add that to your board?
You can. I love cake. Shake.
Shake, ooh.
Shake.
Yes.
Alright, very nicely done. Does somebody else think they can make a even better word? You can have your original spot back.
Thank you.
Flake, like frosted flake.
I like that one. I was almost gonna do
Flake.
flake.
Oh. On the other half of your board, what you'd have students do is they can now compare and make words that end with the word family oak. Alright? So, just like we did with make, if we try to do a T, we can't do toke. We can't do moke. So we have to think of some different things to do. Poke.
Poke.
There's one.
Overface.
Poke.
Alright. I'm hearing
Cola.
Coke. Chelsea, you're really good at this. Would you like to come up and give it a try?
Sure.
Everybody have a Coke?
I got.
Alright.
There's one.
Oh, a three.
Yes, that's one.
The longest word we made.
Stroke.
Stroke.
Like swimming.
Oh. Yeah.
Alright, Philip, you're the last person. See what you can make with the oak.
I know I was gonna put that. I'm sorry.
Joke. Oh, there you go. That's why the J is there.
That's funny.
Joke. Oh! S is upside down. Can't you tell?
Yeah.
There you go.
Jokes.
Can you tell because it's like fat? Alright, one more word.
Ooh, brr.
Ohio State did this.
That's what I am. Joke.
I'll allow it. That's one. Alright, Mom, what was the other one you were saying?
Brr.
Burr. But burr.
That's what I am.
I'm broke.
Broke. It describes us all.
Broke.
Alright, thank you, Philip. On the document camera, we have a little button down here where you can see a camera, little icon. You see that it's this second button right here? So what you can use, there's a little spot in there for a memory card. So I think you'd have to put it in there, or there might even be a way to put it on directly to the desktop or in a folder there. But I haven't experimented with that. So if you want to know more, just ask me and I'll figure that out for you. But say we had this word broke. Well, what we could do is we could hit this and it takes a picture, we remove it, we got a picture there. So it would save. So if you wanted to, with each word that you made, you can save them and you can use the pictures for whatever you'd like. So now we've done a writing activity for younger students. Let's do one more activity related to writing, and it'll be kind of geared towards an older student. All right. So the last activity we'll be doing, using the document camera, is some creative writing. All right. So on your blank sheet of paper, you can use your whiteboard as the hard surface. Bring this lovely picture, which you can't really see it, and I don't want to make copies for everybody to have. So we're gonna use the document camera and display it for everyone to see. Because I don't mind you seeing it, I just don't want everyone to have a copy. All right, so we'll bend this down here, and we'll go. In there, and then we'll autofocus it so we can see it first. Lovely. All right. So, let's take a moment. Let's talk about what do we see going on in this picture, and then we'll jump right to it. So what do we?
Friends discussing the game that is occurring.
So two friends discussing the game that's occurring.
He looks serious.
How
He looks
long?
joking.
How old do you think?
10.
Or maybe 10 or 8. All right, so relatively young.
He's got a big water bottle.
What game are they playing on?
Like
Baseball.
baseball.
All right. Do you think the game's over? Are they currently playing?
They're playing.
Looks like the game's going on, and there's the ones on the bench. All right. So what we're gonna do with this writing activity is take a couple minutes. It doesn't have to be anything long, but with creative writing, sometimes you want to focus more on senses, getting details. So think about some of the smells you might be smelling, or some of the things you'd be seeing, or what would you be hearing. All right. So think of the 5 senses. Think about those 5 senses in relation to this picture. Take a couple minutes, write a little thing. We'll get maybe a couple of you to share out at the end. Right. Would anybody like to come up here and stand in front of our camera and read out loud what you've got?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll read.
All right, go for it, Philip. Nice and loud for everybody. Share with us. Then we can talk about the picture afterwards.
Boys of summer.
Oh, it's the title. Cool.
The
Okay.
feel of the cool green grass beneath their feet. The smell of the leather mint soft with catch of ball. The beautiful sunset setting in the west as the lights buzz on.
That is very poetic.
Notice he had some senses in there. What senses do we have?
Would you like me to read it again?
Yeah. So yeah, read it again. What senses do we have?
Okay, so the feel of the cool green grass. So I have 2 in there.
There
The
you
feel
go.
and the cool green grass. And you can see it because they're green. It's green.
True.
The smell of the leather on the
Mhm.
mint. And the soft catch with the ball.
All right.
The beautiful sunset setting in the west. So you can think of sunset, beautiful sunset. And the lights, and you hear the buzzing
Hear
of
them.
them coming on.
All right. Very nicely done. Thank you for reading. Does one more person want to read for us?
I don't have like senses, but
Oh, doesn't matter. Even if you have some
Go for it.
descriptive stuff, it can be
Go for it,
used
okay.
later. All right. So it'll change it up. It'll be different. All right.
okay. This is you, Craig.
Okay.
Craig had just struck out, and he walked to the end of the bench. After taking a long, refreshing drink of his ice-cold water, his friend tried to cheer him up. Knock, knock, he said. Don't even try it, Craig said. You can't cheer me up.
Get some dialogue in there. Nicely done. So let's return to those index cards that we were working with earlier, where, remember, you wrote down 3 activities, either reading or writing related, that you use in the classroom or have used. Now, think of one of those activities that you think you could incorporate the use of a document camera with. Whether it's the whole activity, just a part of that activity, what one do you think you could add it in? And on the back, if you would write that, and then we'll maybe get to share. Anybody nice and loud like to share one activity? Like say what the original one was and say how you worked the document camera into it.
So I said that they could make like a word journal or like a
Mhm.
book and kind of use it in terms of like a dictionary.
Okay.
So I know like dictionaries are really small, so like what they could do is like use the actual dictionary, use the document camera to blow that up because obviously dictionaries are really, really small, so then we can use the document camera, look at those words, and then they can like make a journal or like, I don't know, like kind of like vocab journal kind of deal, if that makes any sense.
And would they use the definitions like right from the dictionary?
They could.
Or are they writing it on something else?
Yeah.
That's what they're,
Mhm.
okay, gotcha. Very cool. All right, something simple. Perfect.
In my kindergarten classroom, we wrote like cards to like family members, and a lot of times like the kids use like common words like to write on the cards like thank you, love you, you know. And in kindergarten, they don't know all of the words, so you could like put up common words that are like phrases that they could put in these cards like
And just have
family
it.
members and just have it there. So as they're writing, they
They
can
can
like
see.
use it as a reference.
Perfect. All right, any other people want to share with me?
I did reading like song lyrics, like if you're showing it to your kids, because I like taught stuff through songs.
Mm.
So it's like a
Of
poem,
course.
treat it like a poem. And so like we put the lyrics up using the document camera so they can all see them, and then we read through it and then like highlighted like the end rhymes and like the like all the different poetic moments.
Alright, very cool. Philip, since you're
Completing a worksheet.
Okay.
Because we kind of did that in our classroom. So you could do that, but like take it a step further, like you did, like highlighting and going, and then you could take that even further to like create a writing or something. Maybe that was if it's SH or something they're working on that week, then you could have them write like a story about SH words.
Alright, perfect. I'm glad each of you could at least think of one way that you could work it in. If you could quickly turn to your partner and let's discuss pros and cons together, and then we'll share out of using document cameras in the classroom.
The pro was like it blows everything up so that all the kids can see it, especially if you have kids with like vision impairments, or kids that sit far in the back, so like everyone doesn't have to run up to them and see it.
Because if it's only stationary, is that I'm left-handed, so it's hard for me to write if it's on the left-hand side. But if you put it on the other side, then I can write. But my hand also gets in the way, and then you
So
smear.
I guess it could be like
So that's a big problem. But with that, I like it because it's out of the way. Like you can put it on the right side and be able to write and move my hand so that you can see.
How, like when Philip was like flipping, or Craig and Philip were flipping through the
Yeah.
books, like if you get like motion sickness or something, yeah, like watching like the screen like might be a little,
might be a little.
but like all like the zooming in and out.
Yeah.
That was,
So I want to leave you with something I found online. It's actually 50 plus ideas for using document cameras in the classroom. So outside of reading and writing, there's things on here related to math, science, so I know a lot of you teaching the younger students, you're teaching all the subjects. So it's split up for kids in preschool to primary, intermediate students, and then in high school, so no matter who you're working with, it provides you with ideas you can go off of, and if you didn't think of it here, you can look at that. So it's something just to leave you with. So, that was all, but thank you everybody for sitting through this workshop and learning a little bit more about document cameras. Hopefully you can use them in the classroom or here in the reading center.